now we have a bigger hole. So we have a hole like this. So to show you, if I go and I try to put mud over it, it's not hanging in. See, it's curling up around the edges. It's not going anywhere. And if I try putting a lot of mud in, okay, what happens? It falls right into the wall, okay? This is not going to work for me, okay? So I have to figure out another way. So yes, I can go through here. I can find out where the stud is, okay, in the wall, and I can cut a piece out and screw it in and have it into the stud, or I could cut a piece out this way and screw pieces of wood in each side and put in a new drywall piece. But I don't have any drywall. So you're doing a job, you have to keep moving. Nobody can get you drywall. You have to look at the things that you have. So what I did was I took 2 wood shims, I doubled them up, because typically they come like this, okay? So 2 wood shims, I put a screw through the center, okay? Right now that's gonna hold them together, and it gives me a point to be able to grab, okay? So I make sure that I have a screw gun and a couple of screws. And what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take this, and again, typically, right, you're not going to be doing this after you tried to mud it, right? So you're not gonna be fighting all the mud that I am right now. But I wanted to be able to show what we were doing. Now, as I'm trying to put this piece in there, I'm feeling on the back end, and what I'm getting is, I'm getting the drywall that kind of busted through, okay? So the drywall that's still sitting back there that hasn't come all the way free from the hole, because the drywall is board like that, right? So it's gypsum with paper on both sides. So the paper was holding that in, okay? And what I want to do is, I want to make sure that this piece that I'm putting in here, okay, that I'm getting it tight up against the backside of the drywall. Then, as I hold this with a pair of pliers, I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna screw that piece in, okay? So, put another screw on, all right? And I come in here, and I want to make sure that as I do that, right, I'm burying that screw head, not all the way through the drywall. This drywall happens to be 1/2 inch thick drywall. Drywall can be 1/4 inch. You could have 3/8, you could have 1/2 inch, you could have 5/8, you could have 3/4. Typical in homes, commercial settings, you're usually going to have a 1/2 inch, all right? And that's another important piece to note if you are patching drywall with other drywall, that you understand the thickness that you're patching, how it's gonna be. Now, I screwed this piece in. Now that center screw that I was using, I will simply back that out, okay? So now, what have I done? I created a barrier right here. Now, if I wanted to, I could actually take the piece that I just pulled out of that wall, right? And I could also plant that against that barrier. And I could then take this screw that I took out, right? And I can use that to go in there, okay? And it doesn't have to look pretty, right? What it has to do is, it has to give me an area to be able to fill. So now, I go across here, right? And I might use this smaller knife, right, to start filling in. But I might decide then that I need a little wider knife, right? So I can drag this down, okay? And I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna fill that in, okay? And it's not going to be perfect again on the first time around, right? But what I'm doing is I'm making sure that now my mud isn't falling all the way through. I know I have a piece of drywall behind there. I also know I have a piece of wood behind there that is screwed in here. So that means that if somebody did try hanging a picture on this or try doing something, they can still adhere to this. And I'll sand this down, have to come back, mud it probably just one more time, and I'm good to go.